Day 8 kind of skipped the weekend and Monday. But hey, still going. So, yeah. it's- hmm. There's been a lot of struggle. Um, there's been a lot of temptation uh, over this time. Like, it's interesting. I had some pretty good days, and then I had some days. Like yesterday was especially difficult for some reason. Uh, Maybe it's because I've been sort of slacking in terms of uh, being productive. Okay, I'll roll back. On Saturday, I uh, went with my friends. I had a nice time. Just okay. Roll even further back. On Saturday, I'm still sort of stuck in this weird spot where I'm not sure if I should uh, have the Sabbath on Saturday or Sunday. So I just kind of treat both as the Sabbath. And so Saturday, I didn't really do much. In the morning, I woke up pretty early, around like 7 o'clock, and I just, you know, started listening to the Bible. I got through the devotions. Then I just kind of laid in bed and kept listening to various podcasts and falling in and out of sleep until like 12. And at that point, my brother called me and was like, "Hey, I'm coming over." And, uh, well, we should get other people to come over to play board games and stuff. And I was like, "Okay, wow, this is coming absolutely out of nowhere. I guess I'll do that." And so I contacted a whole bunch of people, and eventually we settled because COVID and all. I had to figure out regulations and those sorts of things, and uh, eventually we ended up with my brother and I and two other people that came over to my place to play board games, and that was nice. We played Settlers of Catan. We played Dominion, and then we went out to eat, and it was nice. I keep saying that in these videos. I'm realizing I should really expand my vocabulary and my talking pattern in that way. Uh, After that, uh, I got I realized that my high school friends have a Minecraft server that they've started, and so I joined that. And something to know about me, when it comes to play, when it comes to leisure activities, especially when it's very grindy, I can get sucked in very, very quickly, and just spend stupid amounts of time doing it. And so I've been I've been progressing extremely quickly on the server, if you get my drift. Uh, so I played a a stupid amount of Minecraft in the past 3 days. Just I had come back from eating dinner to my place at like 10 roughly, and I used the bathroom, came back out, and tried to and joined this server, and it was like 10:30. Uh, I played until like 1 in the morning, and then I went to sleep, crashed for a very long time, woke up, uh, did church and all that, and then as soon as church was over, right back to Minecraft, and I played basically for the rest of the day. Yeah. Uh, I'm sure there's a better way to spend Sabbath than just playing video games, but well, and another thing to keep in mind is that it wasn't necessarily only me. I was usually on a voice call with someone else, or I was listening to a podcast or something like that. I listened to a lot of Jordan Peterson. I listened to this thing called Healthy Gamer GG, which is this interesting spirituality podcast thing, uh, where this spirituality and um, I guess psychology, psychoanalytical, uh, what's the word? It's where you talk to someone and help them through problems. Coaching sort of thing. Uh, yeah, and they talk to a lot of people who are usually struggling in the Twitch streaming world with all sorts of different mental afflictions. And I don't know, I guess I just like helping people, and so I like listening to people help people and learning based off of that. Anyways, yeah, the Ben Shapiro show as well. Uh, yeah, I used to watch a lot of Minecraft stuff on YouTube, but not as much anymore. Uh, a lot of D&D stuff, um, a lot of just people playing video games, but I slowly weaned myself off of that and started, going towards stuff that felt more productive. And so, yeah, I started uh, listening to Jordan Peterson, and that helped in some ways. Uh, yeah, going from Sunday now to Monday, I've had this thing going on with one of my friends that we get on a call during the weekdays uh, at 12 p.m. till whenever he's for however long he's available for, and we just work, and that's been great. I've been getting a lot of reading done for studying for my exam, and he's been doing a lot of art and creative work for his Instagram, and we've got this real nice relationship there, and I get a decent amount done during that time. Uh, However, whenever I'm not on the call, it's very difficult for me to get anything done, and so I've been, you know, but over the previous weeks, I had been getting a lot of, cleaning and cooking and that sort of stuff done when I wasn't uh, directly studying. However, I suppose I've already gotten a lot of the cleaning done around the house at this point, and so I've just been mostly playing Minecraft when I wasn't on yesterday. And one final confession. I have absolutely no idea if this is good or not, but I joined Facebook dating. Yeah, I don't know if I always had a weirdly strong opinion about online dating in the even though I never used it before. I don't know. I never heard good things about it. I always heard about rough things about it, but it seems like Facebook dating might be slightly different. I was able to choose in my preferences immediately that I'd only get Christians as matches. In some ways, it kind of feels like I'm giving up on some people that are in my church. Uh, I'm never dating them. And in other ways, it feels like it might be a bit too early for me since I'm not actually working yet. I'm close to being able to work, but I'm not quite working yet. I'm like maybe a month away, roughly. Uh, yeah. Doing online research, I was seeing that dating app usage is directly correlated with depression. Not necessarily that it makes you depressed, but that if you use dating apps a lot, that it's a sign that you are depressed. Uh, and I was getting sort of weird vibes from it. Uh, I created my profile, and okay, I guess we're talking about this now. Um, I okay, this goes back a while. This is going to be a longer video, guys. Uh, yeah, I had a. Okay, I'm 21 right now, and uh, I guess I'm not super old. I haven't, had any dating experience. I've only had crushes. I've had people that I've liked, and I've had girls as friends that I've, obviously uh, developed a crush on, and eventually, you know, told. And that's never gone well. I've always, uh, it's always been like, oh, I only see you as a friend. Yeah. And looking online, it seems like women have way higher standards than men do for some reason. Women always date up, apparently. Uh, and so I've recently, uh, I had this girl that I had told about 2 years ago that I liked her and that I'd like to start dating her. And so, we're pretty young at this point. I'm 19, she's 18. And so we go out on two dates. Uh, One time we go to the movies. We watch like the new Aladdin, which was eh, but the conversation we had afterwards was great. And then the second time we went on a walk, and yeah, we had a nice time, and I enjoy her company. And but well, eventually the conversation directed itself towards what we were, and she just wasn't sure. Uh, she was like, you know what? Let's get to know each other as friends first, and then we'll see. Let's just keep becoming friends, and we'll eventually figure out um, what the if it should turn into a relationship. We're both young. We're going into university at this point, and we don't really know who we are yet, and if we're a good match. And so let's move forwards and just move platonically for now. And so we kept going on walks about once every month or so. And, I made it very abundantly clear that I was very into her. And at some points, it looks like she was into me as well, um, especially over COVID. But as she said, maybe it was the fact that we weren't around other people very often, that she was feeling lonely or something like that. And she was telling me this, that maybe that was it, that maybe she didn't necessarily want to be with me specifically, but that she wanted to be with someone. Yeah. And just to be clear, I hold pretty traditional Christian values when it comes to dating and stuff, where uh, I want to get married and I don't want to have sex before marriage and all that. And recently, a few months ago, I uh, had to go away for a while. I was in Florida for about 4 months, and I thought that I'd only be away for 1 month. I was getting my passport and I was visiting my friends for Christmas, but you know, COVID and a whole bunch of stuff, life got in the way, and I wasn't able to come back for a while, 4 months. And in the meantime, I was texting her and saying that, and we were sort of hyping up this walk and picnic that we'd have. She actually suggested a picnic that I'd play guitar, and that since it was getting hotter uh, here in Vancouver, that we just, spread out a blanket and eat food outside on the grass next to a an elementary school. And hearing her say that, my heart just absolutely melted. And I, for several months, had to delay because of life. And eventually, I was able to come back. I had to quarantine, so that delayed even more. And my heart was like yearning. And at the same time, it seems like she was starting to get a little standoffish, I suppose. And keep in mind that, like, if I texted her every time that I thought of her, I'd be texting her just about every day. But I was holding myself back because I wanted to keep the relationship platonic, kind of. And eventually we go on this walk, and the sky was overcast that day, but as soon as I saw her, the clouds literally parted and the sun shone through, and we were wearing our sweaters, but we had to take them off because the sun was super hot. And we go on this walk and we're talking, but it doesn't flow as much as it normally does. And, to contrast this, the previous time that we had walked, I had uh I talked to her about like the reasons why I was into her. I talked about uh how I thought that she was the most mature, the most angelic person that I knew, and that honestly I couldn't imagine God having a better person for me than her. And at that she smiled and was like, she said, you know, you might meet someone better in the future, effectively. Uh, that This time the conversation felt very forced on my end. I had to keep the conversation going extremely intentionally. And we had to go and buy the food, so we went into places, put on masks, had to socially distance, and eventually we got to this spot. We found a picnic table. We plonked ourselves down, and eventually the conversation went around to uh, what we meant. Keep in mind that this is 2 years after this conversation first came about. I've been thinking that I was going to marry this girl. And, we weren't technically dating, I suppose. Kind of. Other people would say otherwise, but she starts crying. The clouds literally cover the sun again, and I have to put my sweater back on. And she says, I'm sorry, I don't want to hurt you. It's been 2 years that we've been that we've been getting closer together as friends intentionally for this reason, but I just don't see it in that way. And I don't want to hurt you, but I don't know if it was the I don't know if it was the COVID time that I was just lonely, where I wanted to be romantic with just someone, or but I'm pretty new to dating, and uh, I'd like to just tell you that not to fully close it off for the future. Maybe something would change, but I'm just not into you that way, and but I'd like to keep this friendship that we've built up. At this point, I was shivering from the cold, but also from sort of the rejection. I, I thought that she liked me, that I was going to be spending my life with her. And it felt like she took a chunk of me with her. I sort of, I cheered her up. I was my amiable self. I talked to her about all sorts of stuff and gave her a bit of a behind the scenes view on my perspective of things, and what I was thinking during this time, and she sort of cheered up a little bit. Um, yeah, the conversation flowed a lot easier at that point. I suppose she just had that on her chest and didn't know how to bring it up. And we talked about various things and eventually parted. And as I walked home, it sort of all the bricks sort of started falling at once. I got back home and just stared at a wall for a while sitting on my bed. And then started crying and playing the guitar, uh, playing worship music. Uh, yeah. And so, I had a prophetic precedent as well. Like, literally a week before that, someone said prophetically that I would be entering into covenant relationships, into brotherly friendships, and also romantic relationships over this new season of my life. And I don't know if it had to be like out with the old and in with the new or something like that, or that maybe that relationship with boy was sort of holding me in a place where I wasn't searching and feeling as alone romantically. But who knows? Oh shoot, I said her name. Did I say her name? I'll have to rewatch this and potentially edit that out. Uh, yeah. Well, anyways, uh, now I just joined Facebook dating. I was scrolling through Facebook and like Facebook had its internal advertisement up like find your love in Facebook dating. You'll never know who you'll find. And I'd heard some things uh, that you could have your secret crushes among your friends, and that uh, it wouldn't suggest your friends Facebook dating normally. Yep. Sorry. It wouldn't suggest your friends normally. But if you have each other as secret crushes, that you'll match up and it would start its, internal conversation thing. And so, for a few days, I think since Friday, uh, I uh, I swiped left and right on basically every Christian girl who was from 18 to 24 within a 50-mile radius of me, and went through all of them. uh, and for about a day, I had no matches. Well, actually, I had exactly one match. Uh, and I sent her a text, and then she didn't reply for an entire day, and well, more than an entire day. And then I got another match, the next day, and I sent her a text and she didn't reply for a while. And then the next day I got another match and I sent her a text and she didn't reply. And then the following day, finally, two of the girls actually did send a reply, and I've had an okay back and forth between them. And it's not like I haven't been able to text girls before. I've been able to do that in my personal life. In fact, uh, in my teenage life and in high school, like probably the last 2 years of high school, I probably had more female friends than male friends. It's probably because I was looking for something, but anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. It's not like I'm not able to make conversation. I guess I have high standards and I want to be friends with someone before I start something romantic with them. I don't know. Maybe that's being idealistic. I'm, as you can see, a pretty open person in general. I'm not afraid of talking about uh, the things that bother me with complete strangers. I'm not afraid of talking about the very personal matters in my life. And I don't know if that's helped me or hurt me in these relationships. It's definitely helped in gathering friendships. I'm definitely very, very good at that. Being a friend and uh, starting a friendship and getting to know someone. That's no problem for me. I guess the problem arises when, I want to turn that into something romantic. I don't know. I suppose I haven't. I flexed that a little bit, but I don't know. Maybe I don't know how to shine my brightest self or something like that. It seems like it seems like girls just like me as friends and, you know, like the benefit that I can give them during that time and don't want to have anything deeper than that. But maybe that's because girls are looking for the one and only Prince Charming. The one man out of the millions and billions out there that is for her. The guy that's perfect in every way, that's rich and handsome and has his life together and is in a higher social status than her, that is funny and charming and cool and the bad boy, but also someone that you can start a family with. It seems like an impossible standard to meet. And ever since I was sort of rejected by that girl, I suppose I've been getting my life together a little bit. Uh, and that's been good. That's a good that's come out of that. Um, but at the same time, it halfway feels like an impossibility. But now talking, not as Jonathan, but as a son of God. There, God does have a plan for me. I suppose he does have someone in mind for me. That is perfect for me. And maybe that girl wasn't who he had in mind. And he's saving me for someone else. And I don't know if I should simply trust him in the meantime, or if I should take matters in my own hands. So I've got this weird feeling about Facebook dating. It's weird because I'm meeting new girls that I don't know, even though I know a lot of girls that are in my age range that would be plenty suitable to date, but that probably have friend zoned me at this point, have this sort of preconceived notion of me that I am this sincere, chill, sympathetic man. Sympathetic in that I sympathize with others. That is emotionally available. But that maybe I'm not exciting. Half of me feels like exciting is exactly what I don't want. That, there's literally the bad boy, the exciting boy, is the very, very short term guy. He's not going to stay with you for a long time. He's impulsive and wants to, have sex and do all the hedonistic impulses that the bad boy is going to do in the short term, and then just leave you, ditch you. And that's why all the girls who go with those types of guys are going to say, yeah, all men are terrible. All men are selfish. Screw men. And maybe there's something there that is exciting, that attracts them. And I don't know how to balance that at all. Maybe by trying to balance it, I'll become even more boring. I think that I'm pretty fun to be around, but I guess not enough. I have felt like some girls have liked me, but for whatever reason, I didn't really want to get into a relationship with them. Either A, because they weren't a Christian, or B, because they were like literally 5 years older than me. Maybe that's my maturity showing through. Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe I act differently around girls that I like. Um, that the way that I flirt and stuff is just so platonic and so friendly that it completely masks my romantic intent. Yeah, I literally wrote a poem and put it onto my uh, Facebook dating profile, and Uh, I'll try to remember it. Um, Here, I'll pause and find it. Love struck. My thoughts come back to you. My heart aches knowing your thoughts will misconstrue this heart that's overflowing. This friendly talk and banter hides romance inside. Your love for me is candor. You've got friendship on the mind. But will I spill this love-struck heart? What good is friendship if we part? Proverb down below. Thanks for listening through. Yeah, so that's where I'm at, I suppose. Yeah. Proverbs probably going to be Proverbs 31, somewhere in there. Yeah. Alright. See you guys tomorrow.